Hey guys, it's Jennifer from the Shooter's Mindset. We are live with episode 440. We have our co-host, Greg Cannon. How's it going?
Hey guys! Good.
Hey guys.
You're not funny. You're not funny at all. And our other co-host, Corey, how's it going?
I shot a match with our guest, so I'm good.
Did,
All right.
did he beat you?
I was about to say,
Oh
did
yeah,
you?
he beat everyone.
All right, and our guest of the hour that beat everyone, including Corey, Varick Beise, how's it going?
Good.
So for anybody that doesn't know that you're like a world champion, can you tell our viewers a little bit about yourself, how you got into shooting, and at what point in life you just started wiping up the whole range with everyone?
Yeah, so I started shooting beef almost 6 years ago now. My dad got me into it for my 12th birthday. He said to give me a shooting belt if I wanted to go try this three gun thing. Went to the range and gave it a try, and after that kind of spiraled out of control. I found out I really loved it. And over the last several years, last year I shot around 20 major matches, including World Shotgun Shoot in Thailand, where I came fifth in open and one top junior and eighth overall throughout the match of nearly 600 people, I believe. Shot a lot of mostly three gun, some USPSA, starting to get into long range shooting as well, and anything else I can get my hands on.
Attaboy.
Great. Everybody in PRS is like, oh, dang. So like this match that you just won this weekend, you didn't just like win it by a point or two. How much, Corey, how much did he win the match by?
13%, Jen. Actually 12.95, but that rounds down because it was so bad. So 13.
So quite
It
a
hurt.
there.
It was pretty painful to see that.
It hurt your pride, didn't it?
A lot of grown men.
A bunch of grown men. So, Varick, let's talk just a little bit about practice. I think everybody, whenever someone's really good at shooting, especially if they're young and good at shooting, then everybody wants to know, like, what's your practice regimen? So you have so many genres. Three gun alone is three different platforms that you have to be really good at. So kind of how is your breakdown with it? Do you practice with each gun on different days? Tell us your regimen.
I try and do most of my work is dry fire. I try and do a little bit at least 3 to 4 times a week, depending on how busy I get. A lot of it is whatever the next match requires. So my next big match will be actually a pistol match. So I'm going to be working a lot of my manipulation, doing dry fire with pistol, try and get out in the range, do some live fire, and just work, since it is a hit factor match, getting more A zones and trying to aim at the center target instead of just blaring 2 shots across the edges.
You shoot carry optics nets?
Limited optics.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
Yeah. I'll be shooting the Northwood shootout here in 2 weeks. Local match. I think a couple out of state people are coming to it. I think there'll be roughly like 125 to 150 people there. So it'll be fun.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
How much time do you put into practice?
My usual goal is like 2 to 4 hours a week. Trying to, like I said, I'll do a lot of dry fire in the afternoons, turn on the TV, do a half hour of shotgun or rifle work while my folks are having dinner or something, and then I'll go join them with dinner and then do some more dry fire.
That's awesome. And
then
go ahead, finish.
I was just gonna say, then trying to get on the range at least one time a week to do actual live fire and take all that work and put in dry fire and apply it to practical use.
Is the range still in the backyard?
Yes.
That's convenient.
Just wanted to bring that up for everyone out there.
Yeah, I'm not jealous at all. So how much of your, we talk about dry fire or, practice the physical skills. So how much of your practice, how is your breakdown between skills versus physical fitness versus mental game? So, I know there's the physical, the remembering the motions and being able to do them fast, the drawing, the reloading the shotgun. But then there's also, you got to run around on the stage. Of course, you're nice and young, so it might not bother you, but like, I need my fitness. So how much do you do to kind of help with your physical fitness? And then how much of it is your mental skills during the stage?
Yeah, so like I said, I do a lot of dry fire, and then as far as like the actual physical side of it, start working out a lot more. Actually, just on the way down to Texas, stop at Shields and bought a new set of the 10 to 90 pound weights, so I can start working
Nice.
that. I've got a treadmill in living room, and it's starting to get nice enough in Minnesota I can actually run outside. So I'm gonna be trying to get my lungs built up, especially before Finland this year for World Rifle, and just keep. I always try to stay fairly active. I mean, I worked my dad's machine shop for a while. I always helped my grandpa cut wood, and I've been helping him build a cabin for the last couple of years. So I've always stayed fairly active, and now I'm just trying to do more directive training for muscle groups and get my lungs up.
Okay. So a lot of farm work and stuff.
Kind of, yeah.
I'm glad that I'm not the only one here that classifies like hard work as exercise. Like so many people like, oh, well, you don't go to the gym twice a week. You're obviously not in good shape, but like that's a 16-foot 8x8 that I just put in the ground by myself. Like, where's that exercise at the gym?
Oh. So, are you doing any sprint work or anything like that for Finland? Any agility? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, I'm trying to this year. I really want to work on getting the explosive movement down, especially as far as like shooting goes. I've always found ways to not necessarily. I don't run super fast, but I can keep moving through a stage. So now I'm trying to work on getting that explosive short distance movement, and then expand that to long distance running.
Okay. Yeah, because Texas three gun, I probably played right into what you were practicing with just continual movement, long stages, right? I think they had one bay stage, but even that, there was a bay to bay run. So everything was either jungle run, natural terrain, or kind of something that you could keep shooting as long as you kept moving.
Yep.
Yeah. I like I like that type of match. I like my bay stages too, but every now and then it's nice to do something like that. So yeah. I like the flavor of it too. How you can get different matches with different flavors in three gun.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of
So,
natural terrain matches, so I really enjoyed Texas three gun this year.
okay. What was your favorite part about Texas three gun?
A big part of it was I got to shoot on a squad with a lot of fun guys that I shoot with.
Okay.
Some of the Carolina crew, some my local Minnesota shooters, and some of the Texas guys I've got to know. So
Okay. Yeah, I saw you were on Generation three gun squad, or not Gen three, Memorial three gun squad.
it was the Zoo City crew.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. So that always shooting with good people always makes a lot of fun, but people that you can go on there, they want you to do your best, but also every mistake you make, they're gonna dog on you the whole match for it.
No, no, not those guys. They would never do
That's what makes it fun.
that.
Yeah. That and then just the stages, there was a fair amount of movement on some of them, but they were fast. You had to be on the gas. But I mean, I think most of the stages, the average time was around that 50 to 70 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, for the
And
wins.
you pull a 10-second penalty on a 50-second stage,
Oof.
that's a lot.
Don't start. Don't start with the penalties. Yeah, no, it's a good point though. So you obviously crushed a lot of stages, right? Um, being up by 13%, you got a couple stage wins. Um, what do you think was the key to the match? Like not stage by stage, but just in general. Um, it stages seem deceptively simple.
Yeah, I would say a big part of it was throttle control, just because, like I said, they seem simple, but again, they're quick stages, back and forth transition,
Mhm.
doesn't leave much air to overrun yourself. You're gonna be out of position. You're gonna have to backtrack, or you're gonna have to leave a target. So overall, it was that run as fast as you can in between positions, but when you get to an area, you gotta know what pace you can run each individual target.
I guess you saw my pistol video then overrunning a target. You're not lying. Targets weren't hidden. They don't really hide targets there. Um, Everything is kind of seeable, and the ROs are fantastic about telling you where you can and can't shoot stuff from. But like you said, if you don't plan it well and execute it well, you can definitely run past the pistol target.
And this year, this match was definitely an execution match.
Oh, and I love that about it. I really did love that about it. It in years like a long time ago, kind of when Kurt was still doing it, they would have some stages where like you had to load your shotgun out of a 50 cal ammo can. But ever since Aaron has kind of done the match, it's trended a lot more towards just straightforward execution. I think the most technical thing we had was the rifle swinger, right? On one.
Yep.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, because if
something
you
that I'm
drop the
glad they
ball,
did though. Yeah. That was a fun target. I'm really glad they did that one.
yeah, that was a deceivingly tricky target, because if you shot the one you saw first, you lost yourself. You lost your second target behind the barrel. Unless you did like some people on my squad did and shoot through the barrels because they couldn't see the target.
Allegedly. Allegedly, Varick. Yeah, so for people that didn't shoot the match, you had an activator and two targets came out like this on like from behind a barrel, and you had to shoot the steel targets off the little Y. So if you shoot this guy first, the one on top would hide behind the barrel. It was not fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's mean.
Oh, that stinks.
You still got like half the presentation, but it was like whoop, 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 whoop.
So
It made for
Corey,
a fun target.
did you shoot
Yeah.
this behind the barrel?
No, sir. I actually shot that array really fast. Yeah, I was a little frustrated at that point.
That was a fun thing about three gun. All of the reactive targets, you
Yeah.
know, the shoot the activator, do this, do that. I'd
Mhm.
love to get stuff like that in a PRS.
I wouldn't. No, I'm good.
Yeah,
But it was fun in three gun.
wind plays too much of a factor, you know?
But like
Yeah.
instead of like you shoot these targets out of order and like you get zeros, you shoot targets out of order, then they blade at 45 or I don't know.
I don't
I,
know.
I have ideas.
You're a sick individual.
We'll see. That was kind of a bad example. But
But
so very what are you doing to prepare for the IPSC rifle world shoot specifically? Do you have like specific plans, a set training schedule for that? Because I know that's like a really big event.
Yeah. A lot of it will be working, getting in and out of positions. I know there's going to be several stages from previous years talking to people where you have to go in and out of prone 2 or maybe even 3 times on a stage.
Oh,
So working on getting in and out of low ports. I bought a new kneeling bipod. So working on playing with that and figuring out what I can do as far as how far I can shoot with that and reliably get center hits.
Which one did you go with out of curiosity?
I went with the Skypod triple pull.
good
Oof.
choice. Good choice.
Big baller. Let's go.
I double justified it because I want to get big into the long range game too, and doing like the NRL hunting stuff and the Steel Safari matches. That just adds so much availability. And then for IPSC, I looked at it where I can quickly throw that out. So if there's a stage where you have to go prone and then also maybe take a kneeling shot, I can drop down prone and then on the move throw that out to a kneeling position.
Yeah. Did you get the one with the throw lever release?
No, I'm gonna the one I ordered that wasn't available at the time, so I'm going to make that adjustment though.
Okay, cool.
Because this year in IPSC, they did change the rule, if I'm not mistaken, to where you can only run one bipod on a stage.
Really? They finally changed that?
I believe so. That's what I've been told. I've got to look through the whole rule book still. I've looked through part of it, but I
Yeah.
need to go back through and triple check that. But that was what I was told going into this when I was getting prepared for it. So
Okay. That would be nice because there were some goofy things that guys did in the past couple.
I know I saw a couple pictures of guys with 3 bipods on their rifle at one point.
Oh yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, Timu had 2 and did a kneeling and then a full prone on a couple stages.
What? Why? Why?
So they'll put far targets from one position that are not so far that you can really like justify going prone, but you can take kneeling. So imagine like a wide swing at 200 or something,
Uh-huh.
where it's like offhand it's pretty difficult, but with a kneeling bipod it's super straightforward. And then at the end you have a couple 300 yarders where you have to go prone. Like that's the play.
Well, another thing is most of IPSC is with paper instead of steel, so you don't get that audible feedback as well.
Mhm.
Yep.
So being more stable to where you can call your shots is going to make a big difference.
Yeah. And it's also scored minor for us.
Yes.
So you'd have like
Oh,
your triple pull on the back and like your regular bipod at the front. And so
yeah.
you drop the triple pull after the kneeling stuff, shoot the middle stuff, and then go prone with your standard bipod for the long stuff.
Yeah. It's goofy, but it's a game, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, while we're on gear, before we move on, Varick, will you tell everyone, everybody's always interested in this, what all your gear is? So like what pistol, what shotgun, what rifle, and then like major things like for us, we talk about shooting bags and bipods and scopes. So like kind of give a rundown of what your kit looks like.
Yeah. So I run the JP SCI 20 for my rifle, 18-inch barrel. I like the longer barrel to get a little bit more velocity, and I like heavy guns, so having that extra weight out there, it's never bothered me. I run Vortex optics on everything, so I've got the Razor 1-10 with a Razor offset mount on my rifle. Shotgun, I'm running the Dissident KL12, again, the 18-inch barrel instead of the shorter one. Keep things as similar to my rifle as I can. I've actually got the JP handguard on there too.
Nice.
Running the Defender, the Vortex Defender ST as my main dot, and then the Razor is my offset for that one. And then for pistol, I run the Atlas Erebus.
Yeah, that was pretty funny when Freilich was like, I really want this handguard. And Mike didn't really understand how much he wanted it so bad. It looks really cool when they finally did it though.
Yeah, I really like it. Like I said, it keeps everything. Obviously, they're different platforms, but it keeps my grip very similar to what my rifle and shotgun are.
Yeah. Speaking of handguards and rifle, have you set up the 22 trainer yet?
Yep. That's what
Okay.
most of my rifle work will be this year for training, just because it's so much cheaper. And
Yep.
I've got 200 yards off the front porch, and my grandparents have they've got a pasture that I can shoot off of too.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got steel set up out there, and I'll do smaller steel at closer distance. And if I zero my rifle for 130 yards, my hold at 220 yards is like matches up with my 600-yard hold on my 3-gun rifle.
Okay.
So I'll practice with small steel transitions out there with 22.
Okay. So you're saying your 600-yard hold on your 22, like you're holding over?
Yep.
Okay. On the far target, right?
Yep. So if I have a target
Gotcha.
at 230 yards with I like 5 mils of hold, which is my same hold for 600 yards of my 223.
Gotcha. I'm back in the game.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You got. I hope you have a good dope card for that, or your mind's probably much younger than mine and can remember that a lot easier. I'm sitting here trying to like whiteboard this out. So guys, we're about at the midpoint of the show. Remember, if we're watching live, If you're watching live on Facebook, ask any questions you may have in the comment section of the video. We'll ask it live on air. Other ways to catch us, you can always check back on the Shooter's Mindset Facebook page. Videos all stay up there forever, and we usually upload to all the podcast apps the night after the show. Then finally, everything eventually ends up on the Shooter's Mindset YouTube page, so that's a great place to look up past episodes.
So we kind of brought up that you're still a junior for now, even though you're destroying all the grown men at matches. But
Or
you're
it's
going
dinner,
to
can you
be.
tell?
I actually think it's cool. I've wanted to see what like a really athletic junior could do in all the sports for a while. Anyways, so what are your plans for, I guess, grown up life? Do you have any plans yet?
Yeah.
I don't want to grow up. Oh, sorry.
I'd like, no matter what, I'm gonna try and do something so I can stay in the shooting world. This is,
Mhm.
I've grown to love this sport. I love this community. I'm gonna make this my life. If I can, I'd like to do something with the Army Marksmanship Unit. I understand there's more that goes into that than just shooting. There needs to be space available. It needs to work for the team.
Right.
That's kind of the, like, if I could do one thing, that would be it. But there's other things that go into it, obviously. Currently, I'm also going through doing online college programs for computer-aided drawing. So I'm hoping I already do some of that stuff in my dad's shop. Hopefully I can take that into the gun world of building parts that I think would work, but nobody else builds, making modifications, whether that's engineer or machinist.
Mhm.
But whatever I do, like I said, I want to stay in the shooting community. I'm going to make this my life one way or another. I've just got to figure out what the right path for it is.
Yeah. Well, you've obviously had the chance to talk to a whole bunch of AMU guys, and you've got plenty of experience doing machining already, like you said. So, just as an aside, having known you for a while, kind of knowing your personality and how you are, either way, I think you'll be plenty fine. I think you'll succeed in whatever you do. So, just throwing that out here. Do you have any plans to host matches?
We'll see. I work with our local 3-gun crew quite a bit.
Okay.
Minnesota 3-gun group and the Minnesota 3-gun club.
Mhm.
Two different groups now. Minnesota 3-gun club puts on Wednesday night matches throughout the summer. I go out and I help set up stages there and shoot.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
have, I think it'll be like 20 some matches this year going on. And then
Okay.
I help with the Minnesota 3-gun group. I'll set up stages when I can, when I'm not at another match. I
Right.
don't know if I'll be hosting any matches by myself, but I'm helping out with quite a few. And then I started working at Josh Varick's place now, teaching some classes, helping set up some of the events he's got going on. And yeah,
Okay. How are you finding teaching?
it's a little bit different. I like doing it. The struggle I've been finding is a lot of the stuff I know how to do. Now it's just trying to find the words of how to properly get it out there. And that's
Okay.
just something that
Yep.
comes with experience. So I've helped Josh out the last couple of years, just kind of as a gopher, helping out, move stuff, get targets set up. And then this
Mhm.
year I broke into the actual training side, and I'm figuring out as I go. I think so far it's gone pretty good.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's definitely the other part of what you were talking about with the AMU path. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely a different skill set teaching than doing.
Mhm.
Got to
I'm
figure out.
much better at teaching than executing.
Yeah. You guys have a pretty good community up there in Minnesota too. I know the Minnesota guys have a pretty big presence on Instagram as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of very talented shooters up here in Minnesota, and a lot of great guys. I mean, like I said, when I was down in Texas, I was shooting with about half the squad was local guys, the other half the squad was the
Mhm.
Zoo City crew and the Texas guys. So it was a really fun squad, and just shooting with like Kevin Kevin Harrington. He's been shooting 3 guns
Yeah.
before I started. He was in our squad. He was at my first match. He's helped, like, I've known him since I got into the sport. Same thing with Chad Swartout, Nick Johnson, Dustin Felix. Trying to remember what other Minnesota crew guys were there. I just
Yeah,
blanked on names.
I saw those guys. Kevin was helping with multi-gun nats, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a crew that made it down there. Then there's a crew of guys that don't travel as much for big matches, but still help out. Like Josh Erickson and Spencer Marsh have been also helped out with nationals to help out with Kirkwald.
Yep.
Those guys, they great shooters, great guys. Spencer and Josh and Kevin, all those guys put on, even for just Wednesday night matches that are 3 stages practice. They'll put on some match level just every now and then.
I mean, that's an unreal opportunity to have that much 3-gun going on. Well, at least during the months that it's not snowed in.
Yeah. So, about 5 months.
I could not live there.
Nope.
Mm-mm. No way. Too cold. Too cold.
Yeah,
Do we
I'll
have
take
any
the heat.
live questions?
We do.
We do. Where does Minnesota 3-gun hold matches? Christine Wilson.
Yeah. So we got Forest Lake is one of the bigger ranges. And for Minnesota 3-gun group, it'd be Forest Lake, Minnetonka Game and Fish, and St. Cloud. I can't remember exactly what it is. It's SCAPSA is what they call themselves. Those are the 3 ranges that Minnesota 3-gun group uses. There's a couple other groups that are starting up. The Duluth Practical Shooting Association. They started matches up just north of Duluth, Minnesota now. I know there's a couple smaller clubs in the southern part of Minnesota and a few breaking out in the western edge of Minnesota as well. I haven't made it to all those matches, as pretty much mostly shoot the Minnesota 3-gun group ones because they just line up best with my schedule.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's a ton of matches, dude.
Yeah. And a lot of those guys now are starting to also do PCSL matches, 2-gun matches, rifle carbine matches, pistol matches.
Oh,
There's a lot of shooting opportunity in Minnesota.
yeah, now you're selling me. That 2-gun match. Oh man, let's go.
Corey loves nothing more than shooting shotgun. He really likes reloading it.
Hey, fun fact, Jen. I shot a shotgun this weekend. And it rained.
Hey, Jen,
I'm
Yeah.
impressed.
when's the last time you shot your shotgun?
It's been a long time. I miss it.
Ooh, you get her, Greg. Get her.
Yeah, but I don't talk bad about it. Like it's the redheaded stepchild of shooting.
It is.
I don't know why that just did that. I did not do a thumbs up.
I think it
I
saw
think
your
it thought
pencil.
my pencil. It thought my pencil was a thumbs up, I think.
I still can't believe this. It does so many things. It does like thumbs up. Okay, mine's not cooperating now, but it doesn't do my favorite hand gesture. It's so weird.
There you go. I don't know. What other live questions? I feel like there are more.
Oh yeah. Go ahead, Greg. You got this.
Yeah. Jared wants to know about your nutrition and hydration plan.
I'm working on that. A lot of red people say that.
Me too, bro. Me too.
Hey, tell them about the cookies.
Cookies?
Yeah.
The one
You
that
remember too? The
2
ones
years
you
ago?
ago?
2 years ago? Yep. What were those cookies? I can't remember.
Chocolate chip toffee chocolate chunk cookies that were approximately as big as his hat. They were like that big.
Oh, I just got diabetes. That sounds great.
I love
You should have been 3 cookies in. Our friend Jason damn near passed out on the couch.
They were good cookies.
Do
There was
y'all
a lot
have
of them.
Do y'all have a place called Crumble Cookies near you?
No.
We do, but they're not very good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This place, they have like ginormous, like super sweet cookies that people go crazy for. I'm not a big sweets person. Like I love cookies, but like I don't like sweets, if that makes any sense at all. Like if you give me
None.
a sour
None
cookie, I
whatsoever.
probably like it more than like something super sweet. But I don't know, those things, they like rot your teeth out as you chew.
Shoot. Terrible.
So Joel, who's one of our viewers from Mexico, he's asking about what calibers do you use in competition? Because where he's at, he can only shoot 380.
So 3-gun, I'm shooting 223 rifle, 9mm pistol, and 12-gauge shotgun. And then for long range, I know it's not what we're talking about, but I also shoot 6.5 Creedmoor.
Nice.
Nice. Any plans for heavy?
I'm looking at playing with it next year. I might.
Why
gonna
don't you stay out?
I'm gonna stay in. I want to stay in whatever the largest division is for the majority of it. So
Yeah.
right now that will be opener tack. Modified is catching
Right.
up on size, but there's a couple matches. The Zoo City Battle for the South. Every
Mhm.
year, a group of those guys gets together and they get on a big squad and they all shoot heavy.
Yeah.
And I got to shoot on that squad this year, and it was nothing but trash talk the whole weekend, and it was just a blast.
That's what happens
So
when you shoot Wee Man Division.
Wee Man division.
I might
Have you
break
not
into
heard
heavy
that
a little
yet?
bit next to that match.
So, Jen, this is actually a match division. He-Man Nationals, they used to only let the wives sign up for Wee Man Division, but then they started letting other people sign up for Wee Man Division.
Oh my word.
Yeah. Anyways,
That is hilarious. I think, is that all the lives?
Yes.
yes.
So we always talk, I always like to ask a question about growing the sport and all that. So where do you see multi-gun, whether it's 3-gun or IPSC style, where do you see it going, and like how do you think it's going to grow? Do you think it's going to change? Do you think it's just going to?
I think there's definitely a possibility for growth in the sport. Right now, I still feel like we have that trouble of the COVID issue in 2020. So we lost a lot of our like the juniors that I used to see on the range a lot. Some of them just decided to stop showing up.
Mhm.
I do feel like the sport is on a little bit of an uptick. I've started to see a lot more faces coming back. Started seeing a lot more like our local matches. There was a couple years there where we'd only have 35 people at them. Now we're having 50 to 65 people showing up again. I mean, my
That's
first 3-game match local, there's 90
fantastic.
people at a local match, and there was a little bit of that drop off to where we were, like I said, 35, and now we're back up to about 50 for an average. So I'm excited to. I've seen that uptick in local matches. I've started to see that again at major matches as well. So I know the sport's growing. I don't know exactly what to do different to help it grow more, but it's definitely getting there again.
Do you think the drop off during COVID was because of the difficulty finding components and all that, or just that people weren't getting out?
Finding components was a lot of it.
Yeah. Shotgun
Getting out
shells.
was, yeah, getting out was a part of it, but everything was hard to find. When you could find it, it was more expensive. And like I said, I know it's a lot of juniors dropped off because it's hard for a whole family to go out with everything that was just going on at the time, especially if you have 2 people in the family shooting. It adds up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like the cost of everything went up, and so any shooting sport is kind of it's expensive, either 3-gun or PRS or even pistol. Really, if you get really into open, is kind of pricey. So the price of everything went up. I mean, gosh, our grocery bill probably doubled. So I think that that affected the sport for sure.
Yeah. Do you think having so many local matches is why you're seeing so many good shooters coming out of your area?
It's definitely a part of it. I mean, we have, like I was saying earlier, we have in the summer every Wednesday night, unless there's a major match at the range that week, we have a 3-gun match. There's pistol matches going on at least every week. And another thing is, like, I can't stress this enough, the community in the competition world is great.
Yeah.
Everybody's out
For sure.
there. Just everybody wants to see their buddy burn down a stage and either learn from it or try and copy it, or just I'm trying to figure out what the right way to say this is. At the end of the day, I want to go to a match and smoke everybody if I can. But I
Yeah.
want that because everybody else did their very best, and I was able to learn from them and carry that on, take the win.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
And I like back and forth. Like this weekend at Texas, going into the last day, Nate, John, and I were all pretty close. And throughout the match, we had gone back and forth for stage wins. And it was that back and forth is what I think pushes everybody and makes better competitors. I fully expect next time I shoot against John and Nathan, they're going to go out there. Nate Schmidt. So
Yeah.
I just got little notes in the side to remind me there's multiple Nates there.
That's right. Because Daskowitz, did he win TAC?
Yeah, he won TAC.
Okay. Yeah.
So Nate Schmidt and John Waddell in open, like, we go back and forth quite a bit over the last couple of years, and every year it seems we go back and forth more and push each other further. And I think that's what makes a great shooting community.
Yeah, definitely. Having that person that can push you, especially someone you really want to beat, that's really important for just waking up knowing that you're dead tired, but you still want to go out and beat that person. A little bit of, yeah.
So here's a real big question on that. Do you like winning, or do you hate losing? Which one more?
I think a part of it is hate losing, but it's less of, I don't hate losing to somebody, I hate losing to myself. If at the end of the match I feel like I did everything I could and I came in second, third, fifth, whatever it was, I can't be mad about that because I did my best. I hate losing to myself. I hate when I go out there and I get in my own head. I don't get a good solid stage plan. I run past targets. So, like I said, at the end of the day, I want to do my best. If my best isn't first place, that's still my best.
Mm. Yeah, I understand that frustration when, you know, hey, Damien, where's my cookie? For those of you listening on the podcast, Jennifer's husband very discreetly and slyly slipped her a cookie in around the door to the office. It looks, what flavor is that, Jennifer?
M&M. There is no other cookie that is more superior. M&M cookies are amazing, and he knows it. And he got me M&M cookies because he loves me.
Man.
Anyways, we were talking about winning and what it takes.
Apparently an M&M cookie. But no, I find that frustrating. I've had matches like that before where I'm like, man, this one thing is what I did that screwed up. Whether it's like, you know, for me in long range, it'd be like, oh, you know, I don't know, whatever it may be. And I'm like, I would have had 6 more points if I didn't make that screw up. 100%, it would have been at least 6 more points. And I look at it and I'm like, oh, I would have left with something nice off of the prize table because I would have been at whatever position there.
Yeah.
And
But on that flip side, putting everything into it and just like connecting and having that feeling of just like knowing you absolutely annihilated something for your skill level, like that is also a really good feeling. So I agree with you there. I like that feeling because I mean, with all the time we put into practice and training, physical, whatever it is, I think that feeling is better when you put more into it. Like when you also know that you did everything you could in practice.
I think it's better whenever we don't lose the guest of honor.
Oh, did we really?
oh,
he's back. He's back.
He's
back?
out. How did
Sorry.
you get outside so fast?
I have a small house. Service just completely died in my house, so I'm going to be wandering around outside now for the rest of the podcast.
Oh, the advantages of having a home range are also the disadvantages of internet.
Yeah.
That is a true story.
But on the bright side, now I get to look out at the pond, so.
Man, I could shoot.
Oh, nice.
So your range in the backyard, how many yards do you have?
So I have 230 yards. I have one cut off the front porch. Actually, that's it right back here. And then I've got a range that I've got a 20 yards by 60 yards berm cut in with a 15 by 30 yard cut in the back.
Very nice.
Living the dream.
Yeah, it works out pretty good. Only problem is we got a lot of red clay, so if it rains, I go over to my grandparents' house where they have sand.
Oh, living the dream.
Red clay is, that stuff gets everywhere.
Yeah, usually when I walk out on the range after rain, I'm suddenly 4 inches taller.
Do we have any more live questions on Facebook?
I think we're good on lives.
Yep, I think we're good over there.
So what's your next match, Varick?
Next 3-gun match will be Zombies in the Heartland. Yeah,
Nice.
first weekend of June. I've got, as I said before, I've got one bigger local pistol match in 2 weeks, and then May 22nd, the weekend of May 22nd, I will be shooting the F5 shotgun match out at Josh Varick's place.
Oh, cool. Very nice.
That'll be fun.
So
Oh,
I'll be
sure.
saying I'll be local in Minnesota for the next couple of weeks, but I will be pretty busy still.
Yeah. Good to be home for a while.
Yep, yep.
How
Just
far
got
is
tried.
Josh from you?
How can you
Uh-oh.
repeat that?
How far is Josh's place from you?
About an hour. So
That's
I'm
not
an
bad.
hour north of Josh, so not bad at all.
That's not far at all for a shooting match.
Uh-huh.
Totally jealous of that.
Yeah, where I live, it's a 35-minute drive to anything, so an hour to shoot a match is nothing.
Yeah, really. That is super.
Especially when we just drove 17 hours down to Texas. So.
Hey, I know that drive. I came up to see y'all last summer.
Ah, that's a drive.
Yeah, that's a haul.
Yeah.
Definitely a haul. What are your goals for this year?
My usual goal is trying to stay within that 10% of whoever the top shooter is at each match, no matter what the discipline is, which getting into the PRS game and the pistol game has been a little bit more challenging, just because I'm a fairly rounded shooter, but breaking down pistol is where I'd probably say I struggle most with. So I really want to work on my pistol this year. I'm going to be working super hard on my rifle all the way up to Finland for World Rifle Shoot. I want to do my best there. I'm excited. There's a lot of good shooters going there,
Yeah,
on
definitely.
teams and individual shooters. So I think it'll be a good time. And at the end of that match, one of my goals, and I want to see that entire the first, second, third podium covered in red, white, and blue. So
Heck
whatever
yeah.
I can do to help that, I want to get. There's a good crew of shooters going out there. I want to try and get somewhat of a training in between everybody. And like I said, I want to see red, white, and blue across that stage.
When is it?
First week of August, right?
Yeah, first week of August. I think the days that you have to be there is like August 1st through the 10th.
Yep.
Very nice, very nice.
You're still going, right, Corey?
Absolutely. Wouldn't miss it.
It'll be a good time.
Corey, you're gonna fly?
Jen, let's not talk about that. He's
On
he's
an
too young to know
airplane?
what ambient flights are.
I was gonna say, who's gonna drug you?
Oh,
You're like Mr. T. You gotta like knock you out, I think, to get you on a plane, don't you?
I'm gonna tell you about the trip back from Australia. We'll do that after we finish, though.
He'll do that when it's not live, right?
That's right.
All right. Well, I think we can wind it down to shout outs. We will start with Corey.
I want to shout out Under Armour and Magpul. Both companies supported two major matches in Texas this past weekend between Texas 3-Gun and TAC Games team event. So super cool to see companies like that getting in shooting sports, helping them grow.
That's awesome. I love when we get some different sponsors besides just I feel like it weighs such a weight on all of the gun companies because there's so many matches and if they're the only ones sponsoring it. So that's great to see some outside.
Yeah. And the shooting sports are fun to watch. They're hella cool. Even more fun to play.
I agree. Greg, how about you? Shout outs.
I have Hunter's HD Gold for my blind self. They help out a lot. GSL suppressors, nice and whisper quiet. And of course, PDC Customs for the most beautiful rifle chassis in the world. We'll go over here. I think there's one over there we can see. Old school. Yeah.
All right, Varick, what you got?
Big shout out to JP Rifles for helping me out. Worked out really good this weekend for long range. JP put together some awesome rifles, Vortex optics, some great glass, Atlas pistols, Dissident arms, Colorado precision rifle for some training for precision rifle, and as well as IPSC earlier this season. Memorial 3 gun. They're a great cause. If anybody gets a chance to look them up, got a big benefit match going on in October. I'd recommend everybody going to. It's one of the best 3 gun matches out there. Aaron Hayes and his crew for putting on an awesome match this last weekend. And yeah, you guys for having me on here.
No problem. All right, and I just want to shout you out for apparently being really awesome with guns, because you just smashed everybody at that match. So it's gonna
Especially
be
Corey.
really, yeah, especially Corey. You didn't stay within 10% of the other shooters. I mean, you were like more than 10% above them all. So no, but it's going to be great to watch you this year and see how you grow and improve and how Finland goes. So that'll be really great. But shout out to you for spending your Tuesday night with us, because I know that you're probably busy and you have like dry firing things to do. So we appreciate you coming on and talking to us and giving us some insight into your training regimen and all of that. So thank you very much. And that will be a wrap for episode 440, and we will see everyone next time.